We've now successfully learned how to create a Docker image in order to run Redis on our machine locally. But there's still a lot to learn about creating an image and running Docker applications. So in this section, we're going to kick off a new project. The goal of this project is to create a tiny Node.js web application, wrap it inside of a Docker container, and then be able to access that web application from a browser running on your local machine. We're not going to worry about deploying this app right now. We're just focused on getting Node.js to work inside of a Docker container. Let me first begin by showing you a quick outline of some of the steps that we're going to go through. So the first thing we have to do is create an actual Node.js web application. Now, if you don't have any experience with Node.js and you're more of a Java person or Ruby or whatever it might be, that is totally fine. The code that we're going to write for the JavaScript side of things is totally optional. So you can either watch the video where we will put together the server, or you can entirely skip it and you can just download the single file or one or two files that you're going to need. So if you don't know anything about Node.js, no problem whatsoever. After we create the Node.js web app, we'll then author a Docker file. We're going to make a Docker file to create an image that is going to be used to run our web server inside of a container. So we're going to build the image from the Docker file. We will run the image as a container on our local machine, and then we will make sure that we are able to connect to that running web application inside the container from our browser. Now, last thing I want to mention here, and this might be something that makes you a little bit unhappy, but I'm just going to throw a disclaimer out here. We're going to do some things in this project a little bit wrong. So when we put together our Docker file, we're going to make a couple of mistakes. And we're doing this very much on purpose because these are going to be some mistakes that I really expect you to make when you start working on Docker on your own projects. So I want you to see these mistakes. I want you to see the error messages, and I want you to learn how to fix them. So just quick disclaimer, again, we're going to do things just a little bit wrong. Don't worry, I will be very clear when we come across an error, and I will say very, very clearly, hey, we did this on purpose, here's the mistake, and here's how to fix it. I know that sometimes in a tutorial, it's really frustrating when things are done incorrectly. I'm totally aware of that, so I'm going to make sure that these errors are as distinct and highlighted as possible. All right, so with that in mind, let's take a quick break. When we come back to the next section, we're going to start putting together this Node.js web application. So I'll see you in just a minute.